so much for tuning in. Today's video is a Dollar Tree Nautical Coastal Decor. This is so perfect for summer, and for us it's absolutely perfect because we are a Coast Guard family. It is kind of neutral, so you can pop it into your everyday decor and it won't stand out too much. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video and stick around by subscribing to this channel. Once you hit that subscribe button, we instantly become best friends.
Did we just become best friends? Yep!
And please go ahead and hit that notification bell. Make sure it looks like it's getting a little hug with the parentheses so that YouTube can let you know when I post a video. Also, some of you may have noticed I changed my Instagram name from PB&J to JMoneyDIY. So if you have been trying to tag me in some posts, that might be why I'm not coming up. So now it's easier to find. I am JMoneyDIY. So let's go ahead and get started. For the first DIY, I'm going to use the cylinder vase from Dollar Tree. This is the smaller one, and I'm going to use some Dollar Tree Nautical rope, 2 packs exactly. So on its side, I'm going to start by adding a little strip of glue and pressing my rope in, and then I'm going to stand it up so that it's easier for me to wrap around. Now I'm just going to add glue to that very first row. I'm going to wait till it dries, and then I'm going to start wrapping. I don't want to add glue to the entire vase in case I change my mind and want to reuse this later on. You really only have to add it wherever the rope ends, the top and the bottom. So here I'm adding a little bit of glue to secure that down, and then I'm adding my second rope. Now this does look a little short because I only used half of a rope that I had left over. So now I'm going to wrap it all the way around, and this entire thing did take 2 full ropes. So when I get to the very top, this is where I'm going to start adding glue again, just to cover up that lip and to make sure that it doesn't unravel. And once no glass is showing, I'm going to cut off the excess and secure that down. To clean up the rope a little bit, I'm going to use a lighter. You can also just use a pair of scissors. Make sure there is nothing flammable around you, and also that you're not leaving the flame in one area for too long. You just want to burn off the fuzz. You don't actually want to have the entire thing light up. So you're doing this quickly and moving quickly. It actually smells really nice when you do this. I found these wood cutouts from Dollar Tree, and unfinished, they looked really great. I decided to use the anchor, and if you decide to use it unfinished with some rope around would be really cool. I decided to have it match the rest of the decor, so I used Apple Barrel acrylic paint in Cloudless and Waverly paint in Agave. I purchased both of these at Walmart, and I decided to go in with the lighter paint first with a pretty watered down brush at this point, and then I went over it with the darker color, which is Agave. You can sand this down a little or stain it underneath before you do all of this, but I kept this one as simple as possible. I glued it onto the actual vase, and this is the greenery from Dollar Tree that I'm going to be using. I decided to actually give it a rim of paint, so I used the color Cloudless on both top and bottom, and then I decided to add a little bit of white on top of that to make it look gradient. I let it dry overnight, and once it was dry, I just added my Dollar Tree onion grass. You can use as much or as little as you want, and bam, I had a really cool nautical vase, which could also be used as a centerpiece. For the next craft, I'm going to be using this arrow from Dollar Tree, and this is actually covered in paper, so I tried to remove as much of the paper as I could. Of course, it's not going to come off cleanly, but I did want to remove as much as I could just to add a little bit of texture and to make it easier to cover up some of the letters that you see. Now I didn't mind the pink peeking through because it was going to make everything look like driftwood. So once I had a good amount of paper off, I used my sanding sponge from Dollar Tree and sanded down all of that texture. Once it was nice and smooth, I went ahead with the same colors that I was using, Agave and also Cloudless, both of these purchased at Walmart. So I'm going to put down my initial color, which is Cloudless, but I'm not going to concentrate on the edges. I want it to look like this was sanded down. So I just went ahead and tried to cover as much as I could, but still leaving some of the pink to peek through. Once everything was covered, I went in with my darker paint, and this one is going to be with a much drier brush because I just want random strokes of this color. If it's way too dark and your brush is too wet, just go back in with the lighter blue and go over it. I made random markings all over the arrow, and then I decided to go in with a little bit more pink, so I used Folk Arts Baby Pink and just added little touches of it. This was also purchased at Walmart, but you can use whatever paint you want. This is what everything should look like, and once it is completely dry, I'm gonna go ahead and use this little tiny bottle of shells from Dollar Tree. I found these tiny shells in the picture frame aisle right by all of the trinkets and the oil burners. So now I'm gonna write out the word beach. Now before securing it down, I'm gonna spell it out first because all of these shells are different colors and different sizes. So I wanna make sure that it looks really, really good before I secure it down. You can also pencil it in first to make sure you're not going a little too to the left or too to the right. So now I'm going to secure it down with some hot glue, and once all of my letters are in place, I have a really cool beach sign that you can't even tell is from Dollar Tree. Now with the little bottle, I don't want to be wasteful, so I grabbed one of my old Dollar Tree books that I use as a prop for videos. I tore out one page and then I decided to make it look a little older. So with a lighter, I just burned off the edges. Be very, very careful with this. Make sure that you are not in an area that has anything flammable. And then I'm gonna cut it down so it doesn't look so large on my little vase. I added my little seashells that were left over back in. And then I put my little message in a bottle. So you technically get two little decor pieces in one, which is so cute. For my next decor piece, I decided to use the Dollar Tree bamboo turners. Once I saw this, I thought that they looked exactly like little paddles, especially the Target ones, so I wanted to make my own version. I grabbed the same colors that I was using before, which is Cloudless and Agave, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of dry brush this on there. I don't want to cover everything because out of all of the crafts, I want this to look the most weathered. So after I added both Cloudless and Agave, I went ahead and used my sanding sponge and removed a lot of that color as well once it was dry. Originally, when I made these, they were supposed to be mounted on the wall, so I regret not painting the back, but that's totally okay. So now I'm going to use some jute. This I did purchase at Walmart, but you can use the Dollar Tree one. I just like that this was thinner. So I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping the top just so you don't see those two little holes, which are a dead giveaway that they are little bamboo turners. Once I have the thickness that I want, I'm just going to cut it down and glue the back, and then I'm going to add a little bit more rope to the bottom. Of course, this is optional, but I really liked how it looked in certain pictures that I used for motivation, so I'm just going to go ahead and wrap a little bit and do the same thing. If you're using these for an accent wall in your home, it'd be really cute to write something like Sail Away, or maybe the year that your family was established on the paddles. I just think it looks really cute, and when I was done, I had these two really, really cool pieces from Dollar Tree. For my next craft, and my favorite out of all of them, I'm going to use these little wood football games. They also have golf games from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go ahead and try to round these edges off just a little bit. So as you can see, it has little holes on the back, which are actually in the middle, and you can fit a little nail on here. So if you want to hang these on your wall, this is perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my sanding sponge from Dollar Tree and just round this out. If you have a sander, that would be a lot easier. If you can actually cut down wood, maybe you can actually cut these into the shape of a sandal, but I thought square actually looked really, really cool. Now that my edges are rounded off, I want to go ahead and paint this. So I'm going to make sure that my middle holes on the back are all on the same side. So even though the logos are all at the same side, you want to make sure that everything lines up. So this one doesn't really matter because it has the holes at the same side, but the other one does because it doesn't have the middle hole at the bottom. So I'm just going to make sure that those holes are facing up so I can hang this up evenly. And now I'm going to paint it. You can paint this however you want. You can stain it. I'm going to use washi tape because it is the thinnest tape that I could find in my house. But now that I look at it, I could have easily just covered this in washi tape and it would have looked really cute. So I'm going to make my lines, making sure that I'm not covering the area that has the logo because you want to make sure to paint that part. The parts that I'm painting up is because I don't want it painted. I want the wood to show through. So I'm going to do regular stripes, leaving the thickness of the tape in between. Now that all of them are covered, I'm going to paint each one a different color. So I'm going to paint the first one with the color Cloudless, which I've used throughout this entire tutorial. And I'm not going to be neat at all. I really do want this all to look weathered. So I am just going to try and cover up as much as I can. For the second sandal, I'm going to use this color, which is also from Walmart. It is called Aqua, and it's actually meant for glass. So I covered the entire thing, and then when my brush was nearly dry, I went ahead and just dry brushed that onto the lighter sandal. And I'm going to go ahead and take the lighter color as well and do it on the one covered in Aqua. For my third sandal, I used a mixture of agave and this yellow color, and then I went ahead and used that same yellow color and added it randomly to the other two sandals. So I made sure to let this dry really well, and once it was dry, I removed all of the tape. And as you can see, some pieces are really neat, some pieces are not, and that is totally okay because this is supposed to look beachy and weathered. So once everything is completely removed from all of them, I'm going to go ahead and grab my Dollar Tree sanding sponge and just sand it down a little bit. Before moving on, double check that your holes are in the same spot, that you haven't accidentally moved them. And now I'm going to use Dollar Tree Nautical rope. Cut down 3 pieces long enough to be able to use as the sandal part, and you'll see right here what I'm talking about. So I went ahead and cut down 3 pieces so that they're about the same size as each sandal. I don't want them to look funky. And then to attach the sandal, I'm going to use a little bit of jute, which I've been using throughout this tutorial. I'm going to cut a small space, and right here my camera shut off, but I did get footage of me adding the last one, thank goodness. So once these are on, you're just going to glue the smaller piece and then the bigger piece in between that, and then you're going to add 2 dabs of glue to each side to attach your sandal. And the more looped that it is, the more it looks like a sandal. So once you are completely done with that, you can either use it as is, but I decided to make these hooks for my keys. So I use these push pins from Dollar Tree, and you can use them 2 ways. You can either go ahead and work them into the wood, or you can actually just remove that little pointy part and E6000 this onto your wood and let it dry. So once I was done, I had really cool and unique beachy decor pieces. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments section which one you'll be recreating and if you'd like to see more beachy Dollar Tree tutorials. As usual, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.